this thing is not fake. This thing is not temporal. This thing is eternal. Let us understand what race we are running. There are many that run, but the Bible says that it is only one that gets the crown. You must run to win. Don't just run. Know where you are running to. Have you ever been in a market? Maybe in a Makola market. And then you hear somebody say, oh, they are coming home. And everyone starts running. And you don't even know where they're coming from. Those were the days when the armed robbers want to strike. When the armed robbers want to strike and kill it here in Kumasi. Oh, ha! And then scatter. People start running and they don't even know where they are going. From tonight, may you know where you are running to. Hallelujah. May you know where you are. May you know why you are running the race. Because pastor, even when you come to church, it is not everybody who knows why they are running it. For we pastors, it's not every pastor who really knows why they are doing what they are doing. For some, it's a vocation. For some people, it's simply because they failed in their chosen field. Okay? And they don't know what to do with their life anymore, and they are frustrated. And they realize that everybody gets up and says, God has called me. So me too, I've come. God, you have called me, you have called me. If you call them, you call me. For some people, the only reason they are in it because they failed in one area. And they are looking for an easier way of escape. And they think the church is the easier way of escape. Some people also say, no, these days if you really want to make money, the best thing to do is to do church. So why they do it? They do it because they want to make money. Some will do it for the prestige of it. They won't be called evangelists. Beloved, we must not do it for any of these reasons. We must do it because souls are valuable. Let's do it because the Bible says that what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? And that's why you need to know that every action of yours is important in a church. If because of you somebody says, I'm not going to worship God again, I won't come to church again, beloved, don't go out bragging about it. Because you have just prevented one soul from getting into heaven. And the only reason why you can say, I don't care, let them go to where they want to go to, is because you don't even know why you are doing what you are doing. You must care for every single soul in the kingdom. We must know why we are running the race. It's very important. You must know why you are even getting married. And I told you last night, it's not everyone who knows why they are. In fact, some people go married because, you know what, I feel I'm old and the time has come. That's it. Somebody is getting married because, you know what, somebody says they love me and so I have to marry. That's the only reason why they get married. How do I know this? I know this because the way they are so aimless in that marriage, just so that if you really have a goal in that marriage, there are things to do differently. You're so careless about it, you don't even care. People do business not because they really want to do business, because you know what, they hear that people are doing it, so I also want to do it. That shouldn't be your life. Am I talking to somebody tonight? Yes. You know what? I wish I can just sign this call tonight and my work will be done. The fact that we must know why we are doing what we are doing. You see, I realize that I'm not the best preacher in my church. Because in the church the churches that I've pastored, right, have emerged people that are better preachers. When they start to preach, I realize that, wow, I must listen to them. But yet the God called me to preach. God didn't call them to preach. He called me. He must have a reason why he called me. Maybe because he knows I have a heart for people. He knows I'll carry you with me so that we can make it to heaven. Church is not just a place that I attend. True Foundation is not just another church. You are not here to do what other churches are doing. You are not here because you just got a space. And hear me very well. If you never thought church is a place where we go to quarrel, you got it wrong. If you never thought that church is a place where we go and it's like a club, it's like a place so that when I'm having adoring, then they can come to my adoring. Oh, you missed it. If you think I'm going to church because when I die, they'll have my funeral and bury me, that one you missed it. In fact, church is not a place where we go to backbite and to gossip about people. If that is why you are in this church, I'm saying that you have a wrong reason. Church is not a place where you go and sit down and begin to mark your pastor. And the truth is that God doesn't even call you because you are so qualified. God doesn't call you because you feel so anointed. God doesn't call you because you feel so charismatic. In fact, anointing has qualified nobody. Paul said in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 2, he said that the things you have heard of me amongst many witnesses, right? The same commit thou unto faithful men who will be able to teach others also. He didn't say anointed men. In fact, anointing is the cheapest thing you can ever get in the church. How do you get anointing? You get anointing by fasting and prayer. But faithfulness doesn't come by fasting and prayer. Faithfulness comes by going to the furnace of fire. Faithfulness comes by going through trials and difficulties and temptations. If anointing, you can get it just in 7 days. 7 days of fasting can give great anointing. But maturity doesn't come by 40 days of fasting. Maturity comes after many years of endurance, many years of going through it. So if you were ever sitting in the congregation and you ever saw somebody leaning in this place and you thought you are more qualified than them, you got it all wrong. You don't even know what a church is all about. A church is not a theater. A church is not Hollywood. When we bring the best and perform for us, that's not a church. A church is not a place where we can just go out there and mess up and just come in and thinking that God will put up with us. That's not the church we're talking about here. Here we are dealing with precious souls. Souls that Jesus Christ had to give his life for. Christ had to be nailed on the cross of Calvary for that single soul. He was nailed. He was bruised for our transgressions. And the punishment that gave us peace was upon him. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. That's what Jesus did. That's what the church is for. So today I pray that in running the race, we shall renew our mind what the church is all about. The church is not a place where, Pastor, I'm helping you so that we're going to save so much money and one day we can share the money. And you tell me that no, that's not it. But it is. Because there are people who come into the ministry and say, Pastor, now that we have finished the project, what are we doing with the money? And after the program, they come to Pastor and say, Pastor, how much money did we save for the program? They won't even ask, how many souls did we save? And how much money did we save? And that tells where their priorities and where their heart is. Their heart is where the money is. May God help somebody today. Yes. May you have a change of heart. That we can run this race in truthfulness. We can run this race abolishing those walls that have really kept us away from seeing the glory of the Lord. May God help us to renew our minds. May we transform our hearts in this church. And as we transform our hearts, let it be a seed in this ministry that we know why we are doing what we are doing. That when somebody else comes and tell you something different, you will not follow that lies. Somebody is going to come who doesn't even know where God took you from, who doesn't even know your history, who doesn't even know what you have endured all these years. They have no idea where you are coming from. They don't even know the interventions in your life. They don't even know the kind of endurance and difficulties that you have gone through. They have no idea. And when they come, all they see is the glory of this place. And they think it has always been like this. Let them understand it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. We used to meet in a place, and at the point in time, they can tell us, today you can't meet, and you can't meet. You can't have a Christmas service, and you can't have a Christmas service. We've been through all that. But through it all, through it all, through it all, we have stood together. We have kept our bond. We have kept faith in God. We have kept faith in the leader that God has placed over us. The same God that saw us through, that same God will help us to carry on. That same God will help us to reach the destination where He's taking us to. Don't let anyone fool you. I told you last night. Don't let anyone deceive you. Bible says, Paul told the Corinthian church, who has bewitched you? Who has put witchcraft on you? After you have begun doing so well, why do you now start doing bad? You start believing in God. You start believing so much in God, but all of a sudden, you think that God will help you any longer. Hey, true foundation, the same God that brought you this far, that same God will help you to carry on, and you shall finish this race.